So this is lecture 0, as they call it. It's a weird thing, but I kind of liked it when I saw it in other professors' works. So that's what we're going to start with for English 240, which is our digital literacy. So part of digital literacy, you might be asking, like, what can you expect of the concept of digital literacy? Is that we're dealing with something called multimodality. We're not just dealing with text like the script that I have in my hand to read to you so that you can understand what we're going to be talking about, but also we'll be talking about the fact that there's a camera running with a lot of information going on behind me because, as I said in my multiple takes prior to this, that there is, well, there's a lot of layers, entanglement going on with the word digital literacy. For this class, in short, it'll explain how we navigate this digital ball of entangled crazes that makes up your digital world and mine, and particularly during the COVID generation, right? These last couple of years where we've had to deal with not only learning in a digital platform and a virtual space, but also things like not being in the office back at GBC, but instead being here in my bedroom, which also plays role as my office in Elko. So I'm going to kind of read from the script, and then we'll continue to navigate what that means. Don't mind the mess behind me. That's how it kind of looks all the time. We've got 4 dogs running around that'll probably jump up and down right about here. And my wife is sitting right next to me, which kind of constructs the whole point of me telling you what digital literacies are, is that there's a picture being painted, an identity being painted through digital literacies that is designed to persuade you to understand and believe, well, what is real? So instead of running a Zoom page with a fake background of a beach, pretending that I'm somehow in Tahiti, instead I'm sitting in Elko where it's probably, 24 degrees. It's Monday, everyone's ready for class. People are probably asking themselves, why hasn't this professor provided anything? Well, because I wanted to show you in the first week the rawness that is digital literacy. I think it's the best way to explain what is to be expected of a digital literacy class, and to show you, oddly, how unformatted it really is. But yet we still can communicate. We still understand there isn't a filter that keeps us from being able to comprehend what's going on. And with that realness, we will also be dealing with a lot of academic connections to it that fit into that conversation, because depending on the audience and who you're trying to impress, what you're trying to paint. So I'm going to read from the script now, and you're going to roll your eyes a little bit and laugh because you realize I'm reading from a script, because I'm not hiding it from you. And what we will do is eventually we will get to a point where you will start to see that I can produce flawless published documentation like you will, without any more tools than what's available freely online, but through this course. So a lot of you will probably say, there's this term Luddite that I learned back in my master's program. And what that is a Luddite is someone who believes that technology is bad. And we all have somebody around us who says something like, I don't have social media accounts. Or I've met people recently that don't have, well, they'll never own a car. They've never owned a car. Me personally, I own a truck. It's sitting right outside somewhere out there in the parking lot. It's not a very nice truck, but it runs and it does what it's supposed to do. But when my wife, who I've been married to for 22, 23 years, says something to me like, she's laughing now because I can't even get that right sometimes. But when you start to think of things like what technology is important to you, that's the relevance of digital literacy, right? So even this laptop that I'm using, or the monitor that you will see me as we record looking at over here to my left, it's huge. It's 32 inches, right? It's curved, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's high definition, but it only does what I need it to as a literacy. It only shows me what is valuable to me. So reading through this thing, I think you'll find that you're caught up in the tsunami of change that belongs to the transition from a digital technology or an analog to a digital technology, i.e. the paper that I'm holding in my hand that has a very firm and crisp feel to it, but doesn't do the same thing as if I were to hold up, say, let me pull it out here, my wonderful tablet that has boldness and wonderful and responses from students and emails and a leather cover, and it feels good like a book still, but yet the technology is there. These are the digital literacies that we're really going to start with and understand, because they're important to us, almost as important as, say, our smartphone, which we have accessible to us at all time, versus, say, an analog technology like our glasses for reading because we spent so much time reading during our doctoral studies that we no longer can see text that's right here. So digital literacies are a way of understanding, communicating through a variety of different media, all connected through digital means. It's a very broad and vague concept, I understand it. However, it's really simple if you think of it as the context of what tools you're daily using to communicate, right? For me personally, I'm heavily immersed in digital communications because that's what's going on in the last 2 years as both a professor and a cyclist. Believe it or not, even cyclists rely on digital literacies. I'll explain that a little bit more in a bit because it's technology driven, right? But also, well, I'm a gamer. I play World of Warcraft still, which has been around for 16, 17, 18 years now, and I'm still playing it. I play World of Tank Blitz. My children play Call of Duty. They play a variety of different games that they communicate with people, and they have different conversations, different languages that they use, including vulgarities that we've all heard. Trash talking, trolling, all those things are digital literacies. They're the literacies that we use within the digital platforms, the different technologies, the different games. So all these things are really important, and they all connect to these things that we call communities of practice within English, the English and Rhetoric department as a whole, not just here at GBC, but as an entire genre of learning and understanding, where my doctorate is in rhetoric and composition in that field. And so within that field, you sort of have a digital literacy that's connected to community practice that goes from simply this community practice, you and I having this conversation as individuals, me talking and you listening at your computer, to the entirety of the class, looking through Web Campus as a digital literacy, to, to your family, to your friends, to your gaming communities, to your partying communities. All those things have a digital literacy because when you get ready to go do something, you're going to use this device, and this device is yet another literacy. So this, I hope, explains kind of in short what a digital literacy is. As I'm sitting here reading from the script, composing as a text, right? This ASCII based is what it's called, form of digital literacy. I've also been playing this morning because I couldn't sleep, because I was excited to talk with you all and to meet my other students virtually, because again, COVID-19 has situated us in a position where digital literacy is the only means that we can effectively communicate safely. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I would need to say. I mean, another variable to that community of practice that I could add to the layering is that when you go to the grocery store now at Walmart, you'll see these boxes at the front of the checkout area, and those boxes are controlled digitally. You've sat at home and you've ordered your cottonelle, you've ordered your meat, your potatoes, your cigarettes, whatever you need, whatever you value and you've shopped for and you pre-ordered and Walmart has ready. Though it's another form of digital communication that it falls under a digital literacy. So in that context, I want to set the stakes early for what that is. And, well, that's the expectations of what digital literacy is. And as we transition through the various weeks coming up, we will see how that is defined more and how you participate in that. Thank you.